Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA143 on this Wednesday, August 12th. Why local? Okay, why local? I want to focus on this and why you're local. I don't care where you are in the world, but why local? Okay, so let me get into this. It's going to tie to health, it's going to tie to economics, it's going to tie to family, it's going to tie to community, but why local? On EFA143 today, there's a gentleman called Taubes, and I don't want to talk about the book, but he wrote a book, Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It. And he has this quote, and the quote says, we don't get fat because we overeat. We overeat because we are getting fat. And that's what he said, right? So, and it's true, listen to what he said. We don't get fat because we overeat. We overeat because we're getting fat. And I can attest to that. I can attest to that. And I'm going to go back to why local. And we are not eating real food, right? And I've said this in all my podcasts, and there's so much data out there, there's so many podcasts, so many individuals that talk about what's real food and what's nutrient-dense food and etc. But we are not eating real. And you've heard about all if you look at the old videos and the old lineups in the 1970s and the old beach photos and etc., in the past, nobody's obese, nobody's overweight, or they stand out like Waldo, right? They stand out like Waldo once you find them. But that's because we are not eating real. And this is why I'm going to get tied into why local. And from that, empty calories finally make sense to me. When people tell you empty calories, if it's on the air, it's empty calories, now that I live this lifestyle, and now that I eat real food, and real food fills me up with nutrient-dense food and so forth, and I don't have that like the always constant chomp, like I don't have that no more. It's gone. It's all gone. But I enjoy real food, right? And by eating real food, and then this finally makes sense. Empty calories. When I was always hungry, it's because I was eating food that wasn't nutrient dense. So it was empty calories. So it was like I was eating nothing. I'm eating junk. I'm eating calories. I'm eating numbers. I'm eating sugars, and I'm eating processed and artificials, and I'm raising my insulin body, and hence I became obese. That's exactly what happened. So empty calories finally makes sense because I eat this way with real food. My calories fill me up. So hence I don't need more than 1, 2, 3 meals a day, max. And I say I only eat once a day and twice a day on Sundays, but that's because I do not eat empty calories no more. Makes absolute sense. Enjoy real local food. There's so much studies out there. There's so much studies. Like forget everything, like the data, everything. And your communities, even your cities have restaurants and businesses and groups of co-op. They forced us to go to the internet everything. This whole COVID system that we're in now going forward, we're all forced into the whole internet everything, like I just mentioned. But the good thing that came with that, cooperations and BIAs, like your business association and so forth, they got together and they offer a lot back to the community. You have more readable access to real food now than what you ever did. Like seriously, and in restaurants out there, there's restaurants, trust me, they buy local. And when you have a plate of food in front of you, and I mentioned this before, Mezzanotte in Ottawa, when I had that plate of food in front of me when I went out with my family, that it was real food. I could taste the real beets. I could taste it. You could tell there's restaurants out there, there's individuals out there, because they're family owned, because they're hands-on owner, because it's in their heart, mind, and soul. They live it, they breathe it, they've been doing it forever. There's passion in their meals. There's passion in their food. It's real food. And this is why when I tell people I save so much money from not eating all the time, that I'm even more apt that you can raise the bar in your household. People say, we can't afford real food. Yeah, you can. If you stop eating 17, 21 times a day, everybody's doing this. If you go back down to what we're supposed to do, 1, 2, 3 meals max a day, that's including your children, 3 meals a day, right? That's what you're supposed to have. And by doing that, you're going back to eating real food. You're going back to the restaurants. Yeah, you are. Look at the wives. I'm listening. But I'm serious. You're going back to the restaurants. All you couples out there, all you couples, all you people, guys like me that used to love going to a restaurant alone. I like my alone time at times, right? But my family restaurant meals I talked about, I make them count, right? I sit down in my family boardroom. I love doing those in restaurants. And the reason why I love doing those, because the good restaurants have good meals, right? And the good food, the real food, and so forth. But there's also a warmth. When a family-owned business and you feel it, you feel those that understand energy, it's a good feeling, right? And when you look at epigenetics and you look at your environment, how everything affects you and the way you eat, the way you live, by going local and finding your family restaurants, finding your family, your grocery stores and so forth, your co-ops, and there's strong unities now in every one of your communities. Check them out. Your local businesses got together. They started supporting each other. They're coordinating with farms and local food and local gardens and so on and so forth. And they're doing the same with restaurants and so forth. They're delivering it to your house. Like they're delivering real food to your house. Okay? You don't have to go into these massive big box everything. They will take the farm to your house with local businesses, local money that goes right back into your community. Again, local business, local money with local food that goes right back into your community. That's what's happening because of social media and because the communities got together and the businesses got together and people want real food, right? So enjoy your real local foods, your BIAs, your co-ops. Like if you haven't done so, do so. Like local, connected, interconnectivity, local within local, community-based businesses with community-based businesses. The people that are involved in your BIs are involved in your family businesses and so on and so forth. Get together, and I recommend get yourself a symbols. Create your symbols. We buy local, we sell local, we grow local, we feed local, we prepare local. Whatever you want to put out there, brand it. Brand yourself as a local restaurant, as a local business, as a local community, people that contribute to the community, that cook real food and prepare real food and buy real food and buy local food. Brand it. Let the people know. Put it in your window. If your BIAs out there, your co-ops, get that logo machine going and create yourself a nice logo for each community so people understand what they're going into. Good restaurants. And I said this before. I enjoy my restaurants, right? But I enjoy good restaurants. And by living a lifestyle like this, by going local, and those that don't understand my lifestyle, go all my previous EFAs. I've done a lot of them on my lifestyles. And that right there, I've always done restaurants, but I tell people, you want to go to good restaurants, you want to eat good food, you live a good lifestyle like this, and what happens is you won't get fat because you overeat, right? You won't get fat because you overeat, and trust me on that. And then you eat real food, real nutrient-dense food. You're feeding your mind, you're feeding your soul, you're feeding your spirituality, you're feeding everything. And you're supporting your communities, you're supporting your family businesses, your family restaurants, your family grocery store, your family everything, right? All the way through, like from your hardware store to your supply stores. And that. Those are the ones that participate in your community's roads and parks and developments. And those are the ones that contribute to donation and so on and so forth. All the charities at the door, trust me, I manage a lot of businesses. Then those charity phone calls are always ringing looking for money, but they come from local businesses for the most part. And we all know, let's be blunt and serious here, the big box people, they have no problems. They did very, very well. They had the entire herded machine put towards them. Think about that for a second. The entire world population in every city were herded into a funnel into the direction of their front doors. That's what happened, right? The system allowed them to be fully open at all times. And they did really well. Look at their numbers. They did really well. And the ones that contribute the most into your community, the one that you benefit the most from are your local businesses. And by living local, you're going to live healthier. And if you don't believe me on that, the data. Believe the data, believe the facts. By eating local, by eating real food and participating with your communities and your restaurants and your businesses and so on and so forth that work with local, like deliver to your house. Think about all the jobs out there in local, from the delivery to the preparation to the growing and so forth. Imagine how much you can contribute if you bought local, supported local, and how much you would change yourself by eating local real food. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA143.